Hey guys, it's me Delta One here with Airsoft Talk.
You're watching Airsoft Talk. Ready, geeky. Bring your family.
Hey guys, it's me Delta One here with Airsoft Talk, and today we have a very special, video. Not really, it's more of a me talking and you listen in the background, and it's a podcast. So I decided I wanted to do this. I kind of saw that, how Hitcock 45 does this. I'm not trying to steal what he does, but I think he's a cool guy, and I like the, ideas. So I guess you could say I'm copying him, but I'm not. But I give, most of my ideas come from other YouTubers. Unfortunately, I don't see myself as a super creative person, but, whatever. Anyways, basically, this is going to be things that pertain to me and the airsoft world that, that I felt like talking about and sharing with the community, and, maybe there'll be some complaining and hopefully some useful information. If you want to help with the podcast and pertaining to airsoft information and stuff, contact me on Skype, send me a PM, and we could talk from there. But anyways, first up, y'all know that I like support guns, so basically, the PKM is going to be the first thing I want to talk about. The PKM, we all know I like it, is coming in polymer, which, it's like they wanted to go for the PKP, but then they were like, let's not, but just say we did, but we didn't. So, but to be honest, it didn't really bother me that much because, it's just a PKM. And the fact that it is a PKM, that we're going to have PKM, is PKM. So that's basically a big deal. All the information I can give to you is it's got a saw gearbox. I actually spoke to someone who had their hands on personal at Evike. The one they raffled off didn't even have a box mag, so that's kind of lame. But if it was to land in my hands, I would, definitely have it working and have a makeshift box mag. So the box mag is going to hold probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 5,000, which is a lot. It's going to be primarily steel. There's a few non-steel components. You can accept real steel stocks onto it with modification. So, and another thing, we don't know yet if they're going to actually have a PKM side mount. So, for people like me who want optics, just to see where the BBs are going, that's going to suck. But it has 500mm barrel, and it's going to be awesome. So that brings me to the next part of something that I talked about from a friend that is a fly on the wall that I have good friends with, has told me he's never really been wrong, is that A&K is producing an RPD, which, to be honest, I don't know why an RPD hasn't been made yet. It's honestly one of the best, think about it. You think light machine gun, RPD is going to be one of those that's in the back of your head. So, don't really have any more information on that. All I know is A&K said they're making one along with an RPK. So I'm interested to see about their RPK and just the design of it. So I'm kind of excited about that because I'll probably pick one up. So, anywho, moving on, more stuff about KWA, my least favorite AEG company, for reasons that I will get into at some other time. They made a Makarov, and they actually released a video shooting it. I'm excited. I didn't even think anyone in general would be wanting to make a Makarov. Now, I know there's a company called KWC that made a CO2 non-blowback one, but it shot way too hot for my liking, but, whatever. It's a Makarov. KWA makes one now, but when they release it is another thing, because, let's face it, KWA came out a couple years ago saying, oh, we're going to have an AK in the next couple months. We still haven't seen their AK. So, I'll believe it when it's actually in a retail store. Nothing against you, KWA. It's just you haven't been very faithful on your release dates. So, moving on. In terms of, I'm gonna make a separate video on this one, but I'm gonna state this one. We're gonna talk about S&T, which is just Smart Team. This is a little beware for the people who own a Smart Team Tavor. I don't ever recommend buying it because it is a plastic gearbox. Now, granted, I've had good experiences with plastic gearboxes, but you do not want a plastic gearbox shell. I don't know what else is internal is metal and plastic, but for the love of God, we stepped away. Someone tried to make one just to cheap it out on cost as a company. That was Star. We do not need plastic gearboxes. We have evolved to metal ones. So, just a quick little, safety guys. Don't buy the Smart Team Tavor. It's gonna break. I'm not trying to be like a jerk or anything, but like just trying to look out for my subscribers and for people who are, on YouTube buying stuff. So, next up, D-Boys has started cloning some new stuff. They released a 416, which leads me to believe that VFC sold off their molds again. And normally D-Boys is a VFC design, so I'm actually pretty curious to see how their 416 is, if it's aluminum or if it's pot metal. If any of y'all have got any information regarding that, I'd like to know, because let's face it, that's going to be a pretty good rifle externally for the money. It's just like those PDWs that D-Boys released. That's a VFC copy. Also, I saw on RSOV that they released some new D-Boys regular M4s, but they're relatively expensive because right about the overseas cost is right about how much wholesale is for the States. And they're going for like 150, 160. Now, that's kind of pricey for a clone. So that leads me to believe that they may have cloned the E-Series, which is a good thing because that's a step forward. So we're actually going to have another company that this is probably going to be, if they are clones, that's probably going to be the best affordable metal-bodied M4 out there. And I'm not one for M4s, and you know this, and for me to actually make a bold statement and say, if that's true, as I said, if it's true, that's probably going to be your best bet for an upgrade platform for an AR, period, because you won't have to spend a ton of money for the gun, but you won't have to spend a ton of money on it'll basically leave it to where you can upgrade. So that's actually pretty good. And I've also heard rumors from my wholesalers that D-Boys has fixed their motor problems. Well, they're not really a problem. They're just not going to be slow anymore, which is awesome because you only get like on 11.1 shooting 400 FPS, you only get like 1,000 RPM, which is let's be honest, that's pretty darn slow. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. So the next thing I want to talk about is King Arms. They have got a SVD, which is kind of cool, but to be honest, I'm not really looking into it too much. But moving on, what I meant to say was a different company earlier, but yeah, you get the point. Real Sword. Now, I have a friend that is in a high place that talks to Real Sword on a daily basis, and what I'm hearing is that they're converting everything over to gas blowback. So if this is true, all you people who own Real Sword SVDs that are AEG, start buying replacement parts. Even for the people who have AKs, start buying replacement parts. So that's kind of a disappointment. I don't know why they decided to do that. I understand you want to go towards the realism community, which your guns are the most realistic, but it's just not going to be cost efficient. You're probably going to lose a lot of customers because not simply because of the it's gas blowback, but because of the cost. So that's kind of going to be a downfall, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. Now, pretty much A&K has become my favorite company now, guys, because you're making an RPG, you've made the SAW, you've made the M60, now you're making a PKM. What's next? A 240, which would be awesome. That's not overpriced, but, who cares? So, guys, this has just been a little bit of a podcast. Let me know if you like the idea, if I should keep it or whatnots. But again, if you want to keep up with me, you can always check me out on Facebook, link in the description. If you want to catch up what's going to happen or what's going to be posted before it's actually posted, you can keep up with me on Facebook. So, guys, that pretty much concludes this podcast. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Or podcast. Or whatever.